Welcome everybody, my name is missmazky and today we will be doing a video on redesigning my very first creepypasta OC. Now, for some information about her character, her name is Alex Eyes. It was just a bit of a joke because I was coming up with a name for her and it was kind of a play on word of the name Alexis. Now, I wrote her when I was about 12 years old, which is when I first started getting into creepypasta, and I wanted to create her because I noticed there wasn't very many female characters, and I already drew up some designs. Sadly, when I wrote her, that was the first thing I really ever wrote, so it was very cringy, very bad, and she was definitely a bit of a Mary Sue, as you can see by the original design on the left. However, if I was better at writing and I changed a few things around, I definitely think her story would have great potential, and that's why I am doing this video today. I'm still going to leave in her original eyes, but I'm not going to have them constantly bleeding because that's just, it doesn't really make sense. But I am going to add smeared blood under the eyes that kind of replicates that she does cry blood because maybe they ruptured her tear ducts, and you know, if you wipe away blood and you don't have proper stuff to clean it up, it will obviously leave smears and some dried blood, and I don't know, it just kind of adds to the effect that she does bleed out of her eyes when she cries. I will also be changing her hairstyle because it would be a bit difficult to move around and fight with your bangs and hair in your face, so I'm giving her a nice messy bun, and I decided to do this because in her story, when she goes on the date, she would probably do up her hair and try to look nice, for it is her very first date and she is known around the school to be that very pretty, very popular girl. I'll try to give as much information as I can on her character in this video, but I will probably also try to link her original story in the description, but fair warning, it's pretty cringy. But basically, she was the pretty and popular girl at the school who was basically good at a lot of things, everybody liked her, that kind of thing. One day, a transferred student shows up and he's kind of weird, people make fun of him, but she decides to befriend him and eventually he asks her out and they go on a date. But days before the date, she has a nightmare that she's in a room being tortured and she can't see who it is, which kind of foreshadows what happens later in the story. And on the day of the date, when he shows up and picks her up in his car, he blindfolds her and tells her that he's going to take her someplace special. And when they get to their destination and he takes the blindfold off of her, she ends up in the middle of the woods. She starts asking curious questions, you know, asking where she is. Next thing you know, two guys come out of the woods and knock her out. Then next thing you know, she wakes up in a dark building and she's tied to a chair, and from there on out, she is beaten very badly and sliced up a lot with knives, and she throws up and eventually she's electrocuted, and she also has some kind of weird chemicals put in her eyes, which was my excuse for her having bloody eyes. And then apparently she just goes completely insane and murders them all in like the matter of like 2 hours, which to me is kinda what makes it unrealistic. But back to her design, I decided to keep her shirt and her skirt, but I decided to change her shoes and give her black tights to kind of replicate the same design as those knee-high Converse without making it as edgy and emo, which she really isn't. I also gave her a belt, which carries a pistol and a knife on 2 side holders on it. Let me correct myself, holsters. Her shoes also have a very small white bow on it, but sadly you can't see it because when I edited this video, it somehow cropped it out and now you can't see it, but I will be uploading the full picture onto my DeviantArt and my Instagram account. For her story, I will be keeping most things the same, except adding a few more details. I will probably be removing the dream part because it just foreshadows too much, but I was thinking of bringing the deep web into this because it would give more of a reason to her kidnapping. Now, for those who don't know, the deep web is the unmonitored and side of the internet. It has a lot of very illegal and bad things on it, and it is very hard to get there. And on this little thing called the deep web, there is something called a red room. Now, a red room is basically, from what I've heard, is a room where people, like, basically kidnap somebody and they live stream their torture or murder or just about any bad thing you could do, and sometimes they will enable comments on it and you can request what they do to them. Yes, I know that's very messed up, but I thought it would work very well with the story, and this could go on for a very long period of time, maybe like 3 months or something, or a few months, because they wanted to keep her alive because she was popular or something. And that makes her insanity more realistic because it is carried out for a very long period of time. And the best excuse I could come up with for her having bleeding eyes that are, you know, weird colors, maybe in one of these comments somebody said, hey, do something like tattoo her eyes or something. And, you know, if it's on an illegal thing like the deep web, they are probably not trained in it, and maybe they ruptured her tear ducts or something, so now her tears are kind of like mixed with blood, but not like completely blood. I don't know, that's just the only thing I can think of that would make some sort of sense to me, rather than, oh, she has chemicals in her eyes, oh, now she bleeds and they change colors, ooh, how edgy. And now I'm just adding bruises and scars because if she has a rough life, she's obviously going to get bruises every now and then, and obviously scars heal over time, and she doesn't have cuts that bleed like 24/7 because that just doesn't happen. But I am just about done with her now. Sorry if this video was really cringy. It's my first time doing one of these, and I'm really bad talking into a microphone or a camera in general, but hopefully I will get better in the future. But I hope you all enjoyed, and I will hopefully see you next time.